Good morning, Sequim. It is Friday, and I have with me two wonderful guests, Casey Lanning and Rebecca Stanton, who are our new professional development coordinators for the Sequim School District. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions just to get to know you both a little bit. If money was no object, what would be your dream vacation, Casey?
Well, I thought about it a lot, and this last year I did a lot of research into my own family history. And I learned that my family has come from multiple places. And so I was like, well, that sounds like a great vacation. So it would begin in England and take me to Ireland and to Scotland. And then my dad's family originally came to North Carolina. So if you connect that to food, there's all sorts of wonderful things, including barbecue in North Carolina. And then on my mom's side, it brings me from Spain to Sweden, and then to Mexico, Sonora, Mexico, and then to Coolidge, Arizona.
Oh my gosh, Coolidge.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, and so I just was like, that sounds like a great vacation. And, of course, it'd be with my wife. We'd leave the kids at home.
That does sound fabulous. So how did your mom end up in Coolidge? Have you ever been to Coolidge?
Yeah.
It is this little tiny town that's outside of between Tucson and Phoenix.
Yeah, so my grandmother was born in Coolidge.
No.
Yeah. My great-grandfather was born in Sonora, Mexico. And they met and then moved across to Arizona and had my grandmother. And then they moved to California.
So do you have any relatives left in Coolidge?
Yeah. My grandmother still lives in Florence.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
That
And
is-
they actually worked the ruins there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, he's in my old stomping ground. I lived in Arizona for 35 years, so it's still near and dear to my heart. All right. Well, that sounds like a fun trip. Becky, what would you do if money were no object? What would be your dream vacation?
Well, I was just thinking here that my grandfather was born in Borger, Texas, and I am not going to go visit Borger, Texas on this vacation. However, if you know me, you know I love trees and nature and just being outside as much as possible, and I love national parks. We spend a lot of our free time there. And you may also know that I love horses and riding horses. So my ultimate vacation would be my husband and I taking horses into national parks and camping throughout them, but mostly going to the top of really tall mountains and seeing the vista. And I call that lazy person hiking. So I do enjoy lazy person hiking to the top of mountains on horseback. So that would be my ultimate vacation.
So have you ever gone down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon?
I have not done that, but we did go in a jet boat this summer down Hell's Canyon, which happens to be deeper. It's the deepest canyon in the United States. It's deeper than the Grand Canyon.
So if you get to the bottom of the Grand Canyon, then you can ride, I did never do this, I hiked out, but you can ride mules out.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a better way to get out of the Grand Canyon because there's just miles and miles of switchbacks.
Yep.
Good. Well, thank you. So, Casey, would you please let our listeners know your role and responsibility here in the Sequim School District?
Sure. I want to preface this with nothing ever happens in a vacuum. We always are partnering. And in this case, I'm partnering with Becky all the time. But our role is basically to provide professional growth and development for our staff and to do that so that they feel more equipped to professionally do the job of teaching students in SQUIM so that kids can, be strong and that they can really do what they want to do someday. But it also involves partnering with people in the district, working and hearing the perspectives of all stakeholders. It involves taking that information and crafting and tailoring that message to multiple groups of adults. And so it's always adult learning. But sometimes it's coaching one-on-one. Other times it's leading small groups. Other times it's leading big staff developments. So it's a wild ride.
It is, but it's a fun wild ride.
It is.
So, Becky, would you please let our listeners know what your current role and responsibility are here? Because you have been in the Sequim School District in a variety of positions for the last...
This is my 17th year.
I was going to say the last
District.
16 years. So
Yeah.
you're starting your 17th year. Yes.
I am. And I will honestly say I truly love the professional development piece because it's working alongside people to support them. And I just have to really echo what Casey has to say, that we are a collaborative partnership, and we help each other out. We help staff out. We help buildings out. And we're really here to help build just a quality team in the Sequim School District for the betterment of all students. And so I love getting to be able to do that. And I really appreciate the partnership with Casey.
Good. So I'm going to follow that up with what are, and maybe you've alluded to this, but maybe you can be a little more explicit, but what are you most excited about as far as being the PD coordinator, one of them?
Well, I really love aligning things for staff, whatever the professional development is, aligning that to district goals and building goals. And then teachers and staff also have their own goals where they want to grow. So how do we align that with all the different initiatives that happen in a school district? So that's the most exciting part for me, but truly why I love it the most is really there's this common goal of student learning, and everything we do is pointing towards student learning and their growth. And that's the love.
And that's the truth. Everything, all of us, every bit of our jobs, everybody contributes to the success of all students. Mm-hmm. So Casey, what do you like most about, or what are you most excited about in your new position as professional development coordinator?
So I have a medium excited, and then I have a big excited. So the medium excited is that I just echo everything that Becky's sharing, just the partnering with others to transform our district into an authentic learning organization. But the big excited is the seeing and hearing how that new knowledge and growth, it's kind of like when you're a teacher and you see the light bulb go on with students. It's the same experience with staff, and just hearing just all of the new learning and engagement that they create for kids, being part of that.
And their excitement.
Yeah.
It is kind of contagious. Mm-hmm. So one of our overarching goal this year is that 100% of our students, families, and staff feel like they belong to the Sequim School District. So how will you envelop that goal of belonging within your work with our Sequim School District students, staff, and families? Becky?
Well, I'm going to keep beating the same gong, and I think that's really just providing opportunities for all staff to achieve the goals they want. Being able to provide them a place with strong relationships, whomever they are, and a place for connection, enough connection for them to be vulnerable enough to grow in whatever their capacity is, because everybody here gets the opportunity to grow. So I feel like if we're giving those opportunities, we're helping them to belong in the Sequim School District community.
Good. And Casey, following up with you, how will you envelop belonging within your work with Sequim School District students?
I thought we should
staff?
Possibly talk about the things we are already doing. And some of the things that we're already doing is we're already having those daily conversations with staff. We're in the buildings quite a bit, talking with new staff, new teachers especially, and giving them safe spaces that they can grow, just as Becky talked about. But we're also going through lots of survey data where we're trying to determine what it is that our staff want to do and connecting that to our overarching goals of the district. And it just so happens that belonging is just that strand, it's that common thread that goes through the entire mesh of all of the work that we're doing. So we're continuing to have those conversations about, well, how can we make sure that you belong to this conversation? How can we ensure that all students are involved in this learning? Modes of representation, when we're talking about the way learning is taking place, is a conversation we're always having. So as Becky said, belonging is just integral to everything we're doing.
And it is. It is I like the way you describe it. It's the constant weave through all of our work that we do. It makes everything equitable for everyone. So I just want to say thank you. It's been a pleasure talking with both of you today. And Sequim, have a great weekend.
Thank you for joining us today, and have a fantastic Friday, Sequim.